Well, I hear almost every day people asking the question, well, what could we do? And I asked that of myself and ran a few scenarios in my head. Decided that I don't see myself as really ready for running for any elected office. I don't see myself knocking on doors, politicking at supper time with a blue suit and a striped tie. So I began to write short rants, mostly to vent, and to not throw anything heavy at the television. Then I started blogging. I realized I was producing quite a bit of material, and that's when I decided to use the blog as off-site storage for original content toward writing a book. Just store it there, mostly because it was a little clunky and definitely first draft material. So then I began to organize the material and continue to research some deeper items. And well, doing that, some things got me really angry. Like realizing in the chapter on communism, for instance, who knew that we were so close to complete communism as a society? I mean, you study Marx, and one of the first things you find out is the leveraging tool to get the ball rolling towards communism and Marxism is to create a war between the classes. Sound familiar? So anytime someone even mentions, the quote unquote, the evil rich, well, they're practicing Marxism, whether they know it or not. Well, I write on the back cover and on the sites that have links to the book that this book is not a call for violence, revolution, or anarchy. The people in the union protests today are mad, but they want revolution. And they seem prepared to endure anarchy to get it. My mad is different. I used to watch Star Trek Next Generation when it was out. On Worf, the Klingon wore a sash. It was an uncomfortable article, and it was so on purpose. It staved off complacency and kept the wearer agitated, thus ready for whatever. A woman I work with came in one day complaining about immediate politics of the day. It was a month or two before midterm elections, and she was angry about, I don't even really remember the issue, but I harvested a deeper point. The following few days, I checked to see if she was still upset about that particular issue, and she indicated she was. And I would always close with two words. Well, stay mad. Of course, I meant, and we discussed it, that she bring her anger to the ballot box, which was approaching. The more I said it, the more I realized a working title for the manuscript I was working on. So, to answer the question, my quote-unquote mad is the best way for a civil society to effect change. Why am I mad? I'm not mad anymore. I got to vent throughout the entire book. Seriously. I got upset when I realized the level of organization of people with a different view of America from myself. When I was studying Marx, I barely scratched the surface. I came across the 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto and could match most of them up with the current state of affairs in the United States. The 10 planks is used as a test to see if if a nation is practicing communism. And then I found the 45 stated goals for the communist takeover of the United States of America. Most of them are completed. I learned about Saul Alinsky. I learned about Cloud and Piven. These are the architects of methods and strategies to topple or destroy my country. People with organized efforts and putting them into practice right in broad daylight. Of course, the media is complicit, so no one knew about Alinsky or Francis Fox Piven. Add to this awareness of the Bilderberg group, I start to feel like I'm inside the Matrix, but I can start to see the reality in flashes and glimpses. The creep of Sharia law through the voluntary forfeiting of individual liberty in spots across the country is the most scary. So I guess I'm mad because I don't want to be just a frightened little sheep hiding behind the rail fence. I'm not the best businessman by a long shot. I did have and still do have remnants of a small commercial cleaning business. I had some daily accounts, bi-weekly, weekly, and monthly. I was on call for a few others. I was doing fine until, as near as I can connect, it was the start of the '08 presidential campaign. Fear gripped businesses with all the talk of raising taxes and, quote unquote, the worst recession since the Great Depression. Well, when it's said enough, it lends to becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. With my business, it started with the client of my client's client. Well, they would downsize out of uncertainty, and it would eventually trickle all the way up to me. I even quote a savage title for one of my chapters, Trickle Up Poverty. I'm trying to make a somewhat lateral move into a different field, but it's part-time, and I'm still cleaning, and hopefully I can hawk a few books to help tide me until full-time is available. I'm not calling for change. I'm calling for a restoration of founding principles. I'm calling for a renewed reverence for our Constitution with its Bill of Rights. I'm calling for a restoration of morality, honesty, and inspiration. Socialism demolishes all these ideas. The moment I answered the question of what can I do? I have been writing and blogging to myself for a while, and I thought with all the left-wing material available, or even stuffed down people's throats, maybe I could stick my little toe onto the scale of what was available for consumption by consumers. Most people think in common sense terms, and the book is full of commonsensical stuff. Oh, I have many thoughts, and even conflicts. I guess the reason for the conflict is that he came out of nowhere, and I'm forming a conspiracy theory about that. I mean, not much is reported about his past. He will admit to nothing. He denies everything he is accused of. I guess on the one hand, he could be a minion for Dr. Evil, Soros. And on the other hand, he really thinks what he's doing will make us a better country. And on my third hand, he really doesn't know which way to go or what to do. Bill O'Reilly asks him if he's a socialist. He says no. Oh, okay, next question. Wait, what? Listen to the Beatcast interview with Dr. John Drew, a former Marxist. Look at the boards he sat on side by side with communists and Marxists. He's a devout student of Saul Alinsky. He helped fund the Midwest Academy, which is a Marxist community agitator school. But okay, he said no. So, next. And I don't have much in the way of evidence that he believes what he's doing will benefit the country, because to truly believe that, one would have to disregard the entire history of our country and the reasons, that's very important, the reasons that she was founded. After all, America is the only nation on the face of the earth, ever in the history of the planet that we know of, that was founded with a purpose. And that purpose was to offer as much individual liberty as possible. Well, probably Tea Partiers can relate the most, because they know about what's in it. They can read stuff in there and say like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember when that happened. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that's a follow up to that. That's what happened with that. Whatever happened to this, that. But I gotta tell you, people who people who just watch, TV news, network news. I've given the book to a few of those people, and I gotta say, the jaw just dropped because they had no idea of the kind of stuff, the behind the scenes stuff, the stuff that you never hear about, the stuff that just does not get reported if you just just watch network news. So, I mean, if I can find a way to pry into that niche, I mean, the Tea Party is just like preaching to the choir. But if you can get, somebody else who at least has common sense, and an open mind, then, then more the merrier, more people that can read it, the more informed they'll be, because there's a lot of research and there's a lot of stuff in there. I got like probably 20 pages of footnotes, so if you don't believe me when I write it, go look it up, find it on the net. So, Tea Partiers, but non-Tea Partiers who have common sense and didn't know about this stuff. That's that.